heard that exists in the Veda. He explained beautifully the meanings of the suktas. We heard the beautiful last sukta of the Rig Veda there. And I think the power of poetry is something that we all can appreciate. But we all also appreciate, especially here in Bhavan, such a center of great arts and nurturing of arts, the power of poetry plus music. The Samaveda represents Indian civilization, perhaps any civilization's first attempt at combining these two already powerful things into an even more powerful whole. Now, on paper, Samaveda is sort of glibly referred to as the Rig Veda set to music. Most of the mantras in the Samaveda come from the Rig Veda, indeed. But what is really fascinating beyond that is the nature of this early music that we see in the Samaveda. Subhanuji talked about the swaras that you hear in the Rig Veda. Agnimile Purohitam, these three swaras, Udatta, Anudatta, and Swarita, they're called. The Samaveda is the only one of the Vedas to have 7 swaras, Saptaswara. There's a shloka, Saptaswarai samastanyo jagadeda characharam sanjeevayate vishwatma same vishnu prasidatu, that describes the greatness of these 7 swaras. These swaras are illustrated by means of hand symbols. So, for example, O, E, A, Va, Indu. There's Prathama, the first, Dvitiya, Tritiya, Chaturtha, Mandra, Atiswarya. Not only are there these 7 swaras, these 7 swaras, by the way, there are many eminent musicians in the audience today. These are not directly corresponding to the Saptaswaras of Indian classical music, Sarigama Padanisa. They're more like melodic movements and sancharas, you could say, in the language of music. In addition to the 7 swaras, there are also what are called upaswaras, or modifications. And students of Indian classical music could relate them to things like gamakas or gamaks. So, for example, they have many names: dirghas, namana, abhigita, samprasarana, prenka. So, these are all modifications of the existing 7 swaras. And these all change between the different branches of the Samaveda. Subhanuji talked about there having once upon a time been 1,000 branches of this Veda, Samaveda, of which we only have 3 left now. These are the Gautama Shaka, and the Gautama Shaka is prevalent in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka. It's also to a lesser degree there in Andhra. Once upon a time, Gujarat was a very, very strong center for Samaveda. And interestingly, in West Bengal, all the rituals performed in households are performed as per the Samaveda Prayoga, the methodology. But you don't hear the chanting of the Samaveda very often there. But you hear some relics of this. In Bangla functions, you may hear the word Om is often said. Actually, in the Samaveda, this sound is given more importance. So maybe the local language is influenced by the Veda that was prevalent there. Maybe it's the other way around. We don't know exactly. Does anybody know the connection between Lord Krishna and Samaveda?